probably see me. It's almost 6 o'clock. Got some time before. And it's November 12th. This is it. This is peak rut coming up this week. This entire week. After that, gun season starts and I might get trapped in a lockdown. A couple days ago, I was at a different spot and I watched a real nice deer, at least a 10-point, mount a doe right at the end of shooting light. So hopefully these does aren't as receptive as those that I watched. If that happens, sometimes it'll be really hard to get a buck off a doe, especially a hot doe. So that's one of the concerns that I have, because let's just face it, the season hasn't been typical. It's been non-typical. So I'm going to get in the tree stand. I gotta be quiet when I go in here. We had a little bit of precipitation last night, but I don't think not enough to dampen the leaves. So this is going to be tricky getting in there because all the leaves are down, all the leaves are on the ground. It's going to be crunchy, crackly, and it's going to be really loud. So next time you see it, we'll be in the tree stand, hopefully. And if it just happens, it happens. I can't stop it. So I might not be able to film anything like soon as first light or something like that if it gets nuts. Only if I can catch them before they get into the zone, get into the shooting zone. So just be patient with me. I'm not promising anything, but today's a great chance to at least possibly see some deer. So I'll be back. So I just watched these turkeys enter the field. Now I know where these turkeys are roosting, these two gobblers. But turkey season's coming up for fall. I've seen deer today, but nothing like I was hoping to see. I'll tell you, man, it's the area has changed dynamically over the last week or so, and I wish it would get back to normal. I mean, this is a little bit of normalcy. I mean, I don't know how this is gonna shake out today unless they get on their feet and they keep on moving throughout the day and the temperatures don't rise. But I mean, it's just painful to see all my work kind of piddle away, man, but there's nothing you can do. A lot of these cars they're speeding and they're coming off it so fast that they gotta lay on their horn and they scare the bejeebus out of a bunch of deer. I physically watched 3 deer run back across the road. I won't see them for the rest of the time unless they come out later in the day. But, I mean, that's a nice one right there. Look at him. That's a good one. But, I don't know. I'll just keep waiting while he's flapping his wings. Turkeys are really funny creatures too. They're tricky. But if you can tell about these guys, is they're moving with a purpose. They're not stopping a whole lot. And in the field, they're moving right through, not even stopping. I mean, look at them. They're not stopping for anything. But that's that. Alright, so I'm gonna have to change plans here. there's a neighborhood in back of me. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're roofing the house. And they're tearing it off right now. And if you're ever a roofer, the tear off is the hardest part. So, unless a deer gets curious of the racket, which is hopes and dreams, this probably ain't gonna work out. There's just too much noise. I mean, I don't know. I'll be back. I want to think of something. Alright, so you have a track here, track there, and then you have a scrape here, or a rub, I should say. I had a camera back up in here. This is off the ridge right behind the tree stand. This is the property I'm allowed to hunt. But I can't find the camera. But you can see there's he's standing here and rubbing. People. I don't know, man. I just can't seem to catch a break today. Really can't. It's November 13th. If you haven't noticed, I've been splicing videos together from certain hunts that I take. This is probably going to be another one of them splicer videos of putting multiple days together, because there's really nothing that sticks out in those videos. So I'm trying to cut out all the lackadaisical shit for you, but I hate editing. We won't get into that discussion. But yesterday was a tough day. Even went to a piece of public ground that I know a lot of people don't hunt. It's because it's just tough to hunt. It's down in this bog, this marshy area. And I went down there. I did blow out 2 does. All I found, I've never hunted the area. I've heard about it being hunted before. But I never really went in there personally. I just heard stories about it. So I went down in there. I only found one way in, one way out. Even looking at the map, it was really, fix your website, DNR. It's government, I guess. But on the way in, I was looking at these tracks. I'm like, man, these are really fresh. I'm like, probably some does. You know what I'm saying? Smaller doe and probably like a nanny or something. Gotta be careful. So I'm looking up, down, trying not to take so much of their path, in case they're on the path. The only problem was when I got to the point where it was going to dip down in this valley, I had to come over a hill. And I'm like, As soon as I went over the hill, they were right there. They're right there at the 3/4 of the way down that hill. Got made. And I was like, oh. So I got set up down in there, and then I started to move around the area. That's the one thing about public land that I can do, is move around. When I'm at the tree stand, I can't move around. I can go forward so far and only side to side so far, but I can go back and down, up and around a little bit further than I can do any other direction. So on public land, I can really move around. So I really moved around. I marked some spots on my phone for, I found bedding areas. I found rubs. A little bit of a scrape. Looked like a smaller buck did that scrape. But, I mean, it's public land. Unfortunately, didn't see anything else for the rest of the time. Went back to the tree stand. And I'm like, these people got to get done with their roof sooner or later for the day. They're going to be back again, like today. So I'm trying to get in there before they get in there. And when they start, I'll go to these other 2 spots that I put on my GPS. So, sitting there, finally everybody went inside. It got quiet. A couple of does came out right on top of that hill there in front of us, right there. And I kept on seeing one look back down the hill. Remember, anything that's on the back side of that hill we cannot see until it comes up over the hill like the doe did. So shooting light is ending even earlier at this point. I think cutoff was 4:59 yesterday. It's probably going to be 4:58 today. So it's going to be really tough to fit a really long hunt unless you're going in the mornings. You're going to have to go in the mornings to get optimal time out of your hunt. I mean, yeah, you could probably go in there 30, 40 minutes before or an hour before. If you're pushing it 3 hours before shooting light ends. But, I mean, who knows? Who knows at that point what you're going to see? Because when I was getting out of the tree stand, because, I'd seen that there's deer out in the field. There's nothing I can do at this point, so I don't want to get covered up and start spooking deer out of there. It's been quite a while since I've seen this many deer at the tree stand for a while now. Especially in the morning. And then when I was starting to see in the evening, came around the other side of the road there's the 8-point. The 8-point was tracking the nanny and the yearling. But wasn't like super duper excited. He's stopping, eating, putting his nose to the ground, putting his nose in the air. And I drove by and I seen him. Wide deer. At this point, I will shoot that deer. If he shows up anytime soon, I will shoot that deer. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to sit there until the roofer guys show up. Unless they're like quiet, then they're just, I don't know. And another thing, before I was leaving the tree stand, people were sighting in their guns. Gun season starts the 17th. That's why I'm trying to do this in a timely fashion. Once gun season starts, not only have you had a dramatic change in my environment situation at the tree stand, now I got people who are going to be shooting at these deer, so they're going to be even more spooked than ever before. So it's very important that I get this done. Or, again, I'll have to go to public land. I don't know, but this whole week of videos, if I can get them out, are all going to be edited to craziness because they're all going to be mashed together. I'm sorry, that's just the way this is going to have to be. I don't even know if I'm going to capture me running an arrow through an animal. I mean, it's so critical right now. I got one tag left. I'll be tagged out for the season. And then we can go to small game. We can even do birds. Things like that, which is a little bit easier than, having to sit there all quiet. Squirrel hunting, you can be a little bit more free in what you do, but you gotta understand, deer season doesn't end for quite some time, so we gotta pick our spots for squirrels so we're not interrupting other people's hunts. You know what I'm saying? Just to be having some etiquette in this world that's so lacking of it. But that's what you're gonna get for the next few days. It's gonna be a rush. It's gonna be boom. I don't have a whole lot of time. This is where I took a real big chunk of my time from work to install it right here in this stretch. Been successful before. Maybe getting closer. Now that I'm seeing deer getting closer and closer to the area of the tree stand, they'll be within calling range at that point. If they keep on coming the way they're doing it now, they'll be in calling range, and I can start calling for them. They can start hearing me, and I can probably draw some animals in that way. We never know. It's hunting. So thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the videos for the rest of the week.